Hi, and welcome to this breakdown on how and why you should try 2+1 CM Chambers. I recently finished the 2000 CM Cape and the Chambers collection log, but before I put this piece of content behind me, I wanted to document the primary method we use to sesh out about 25 to 30 KC per week over the course of the last 2-ish years. We developed the duo methods ourselves through experimentation and theory crafting, making adjustments to the strategies as new gear was released, tweaks to Chambers itself, and at one point the addition of an ult to the team. I know what you're thinking, but duo is the worst scale, and surely adding an additional body will just make it worse. And you're right, duo is a terrible scale. In the 2000 CM I've done, roughly 300 of them were solos or trios, around 600 were straight up duos, and about 1100 were 2+1s. So when I say the +1 actually makes duos better and more enjoyable, I hope it gives credence to that claim. So what's different about a 2+1 versus a traditional duo? In summary, it's about 15,000 more points and takes about 2 minutes longer per raid. That's roughly 15% more points for only about 5% more time. I was getting about 75,000 personal points per hour doing these raids. The boss HP in all the rooms is the same between the two scales, with the addition of one extra mystic. Olm is the only thing that's notably longer. The hands have 1200 HP up from 900, and the head has 1600 HP. While the raids are technically longer, if you just look at completion time, before the addition of the guaranteed warhammers, by having the ult's additional specs, it meant we never had to reset Tekton. Resetting Tekton alone would eat up that 2-minute difference between the scales, so once we got used to managing the ult, it was a no-brainer to continue with it. In this breakdown, I'm assuming you know the Chambers rooms and CM basics, so I'm just going to focus on the duo strats and the additional help and ults can bring to the group. If you have any questions about plugins or setups, I will have them listed in the description as comments come up. One of the more frequent ones is my invisible Thralls. I have preemptively added it there, so take a look and leave a comment if you don't find the answer you're looking for in there. The setup. I am an iron and my partner is a main. Generally speaking for the raid, if one of us needs to tank something, the main is the go-to choice, because the iron can always give the main pots, but not the other way around. Obviously, if none of you are iron, it will be more flexible with who does what role. We have the main on standard spellbook to Fire Surge Ice Demon. You can also use vulnerability to pull Tekton if you wish, though it's not required. The ult is Lunars for avenging itself, and the main for Tekton, Vasa, and just in general. I was on Arceus for the Thralls. Here are the starting inventories we used. As with everything shown in this video, feel free to make adjustments as you wish to fit your playstyle or gear preferences. Tekton. First, some extra information is warranted for Tekton's danger zones because I don't recall seeing this explained anywhere, and if it was, it bears repeating for its relevance here. Tekton will always hit in the direction he's facing, and also can swing to his right side. These are his danger zones. This is why the 4-tick running around method and the 5-tick method go counterclockwise around him. You're always moving to his left safe side. In addition, when Tekton turns to face another side, he can also swing in the previous direction he was facing. So even though he turned to look the opposite way last attack, you can still get popped to 90 if you move into that position too soon. Secondly, Tekton always faces the direction with most people. If there are an equal number of people, he always prioritizes south over north, west over east, and north-south is always chosen over east-west. This means the order he prefers is south, then north, then west, and finally east. Okay, so with those points in mind, our general strategy is to have the ult tank Tekton on the south side with the 2-step, 3-tick cycle, also known as the Elder Maul method, while I attack from the north and my partner attacks on the east, leaving the right side, the dangerous side, to the west, unoccupied. The difficult part is getting into that arrangement quickly and without taking unnecessary bonks from Tekton in the process. We've implemented 2 setups for pulling Tekton over the years. The first is pulling to the north, the opposite side of the anvil. I start the raid on 0, run in, and pause a tick on this square to ensure I get aggro while the other 2 move into the room. I Warhammer Tekton when he reaches me, wait a tick, and then do a few 3-tick cycles to land the second Warhammer, and then switch to your preferred weapon. The main just clicks Tekton from the starting position, and the pathing will put you on the south side and make Tekton immediately face it. Remember, he prefers the south side. After the second spec, and ideally proccing Venge in the meantime, the main moves to the west side, the safe side, as the alt then steps in to use its spec, Venge, eating as necessary and venging when he can. The other lure is vulnerability. The person doing vuln will run in, aggro, and pull him to the door. I then run in and hammer after the vuln has been cast and move to the west to start tanking. Again, west is preferred over east. The main hammers to engage Tekton, who will immediately face west towards me, and swing backwards to the east and proc the main's Venge. Shortly after, the alt will engage from the south, spec, and begin tanking as I make my way to the north and safe side. At some point, Tekton will probably return to the anvil. The main leaves so he can focus on dodging the meteors on the alt. After he comes off the anvil, pull Tekton back to the north side. The alt and I hit and run to the east. The alt will just continue running to the south. Tekton will turn to face me for a split second and then face south. I wait a swing and then I move to the north. If you move too soon here, he will hit you on the north side, so be wary. Again, that's that whole he was facing this direction, and so he can still attack in that direction even though he turns. The main re-enters the room and starts attacking on the west side again, as the alt is tanking on the south side. When Tekton dies, I sip and drop the enhance and grab an overload. This overload will last me until Vespula. The main grabs an overload. The alt mysteriously dies to a tornado to reset HP, and then ferries the pots for the main all the way to ice. Crabs is just crabs. I grab the ranger since I'm the first one in the room to give my partner some time to get in, grab the majors, set those up, and then it's just the neutral melee and that's it. Scavs is only required if an iron is present. If there isn't an iron present, then just let the alt do this, while the rest deal with ice and so on. But you'll want to run past Scavs, deposit your mage gear and everything else not needed for ice and shamans. On the way back to Scavs, grab an axe. Since I am an iron, I will collect enough secondaries for all of us. Ice Demon. It's just Ice Demon. The main usually chops 2 or more stacks of kindling while I'm scavving. After specking, you can shoot from the north alcove while the alt maintains aggro by walking back and forth on the south side. Shamans. I take one north and my partner takes one south. We try to safe spot if possible from the start. Otherwise, we bait them into jumping into the correct spot. The goal here was a chill strat rather than for time, because technically jumping is a waste of time. If the north jumps instantly to the northwest safe spot, you can run and join south to kill that one first. If the north is being difficult, you can get it to jump away from the northeast and then back to the northeast to get it to the north safe spot. If the south one dies before the north one, just hug the wall and just join your partner on the north side. I was in charge of grabbing seeds for prep. Here the alt gives the main some potions it's been pack-yakking, consisting of a stam, 3 brews, 3 restores, as well as ZCB bolts, a dragon pickaxe, and then goes to prep for the main. It preps 6 restores and 7 brews in the first inventory, and then 13 more buchu to make more brews on the way to Vanguards. I pick 18 buchu. I make 5 restores on the way to the chest, hit the pool, and make the final 13 brews before gearing for Vanguards. Side note to you vertical switchers, here's what I do to minimize dragging gear around to organize your inventory after depositing it all for prep. Deposit the left half of the brews, withdraw the mage gear, then deposit the right half and withdraw the range gear. I hope this helps. Vanguards. While myself and the alt are prepping, the main went down to start the Vanguards. As he begins the room, he notes where the melee Vanguard spawned. It's important to know what safe spots will work. I announce to my partner when I'm overloaded and heading down, which he then replies which Vanguard is on the east side, their health status, and which one I should focus on when I get there to give me time to pre-switch into the appropriate gear as I'm running there. When they die, I grab the Enhance, which will last me until Muta. The main grabs a fresh Overload, and this will last him to Muta as well. The ult comes in afterward and loots all the pots for the main, while we are thieving. Thieving's thieving. Vespula. I pop a fresh Overload and overheal so I can stay in the cycle longer, ideally without needing to proc Redemption. Start in range gear and pop a ZCB, then swap to Shadow or T-Bow and finish the fight like normal. My partner recently bought an extra ZCB for the ult to toss in at the start as well, so that's been a lot of fun. After the fight, I ferry the pots, which gives me a chance to heal back up, while my partner and the ult set up rope. The main tags Magers, alternating attacks between them. The ult Venator Bow tags Rangers, as I cross in full range tank gear. You can certainly kill everything if you want, though. More points, right? And hits them again when I cross back to minimize the hits I take. At the chest, I drop the extra Enhance for my partner, deposit some mage gear, grab the axe, pickaxe, salve, pouch, book, and refill pots, and head down to floor 3. Guardians. The only thing different here is that the ult BGS specs them, otherwise it's just Guardians. Vasa. The ult venges itself and runs in overhealed to be the sole sacrifice on the pull. The main and I run through the flames and ZCB at the start. If the ult survives, it'll send a ZCB as well. After specking, the ult tries to leave through the flames, but if it dies, again, it's fine. It doesn't have any points anyway. The rest is just Vasa. Mystics. My partner and I pull the red one to the safe spot, while the ult sneaks by in full mage defense gear, lures the other 3 towards the exit. Occasionally, the third Mystic gets caught on that final bend, so we ZCB, spec, and kill it where it stands. We kill the last 2 by the door. The ult BGS specs the final 2, and then also helps kill them. Muttadile. The ult helps chop the tree, and takes hits where possible, but then leaves when Big Muta comes out. After the tree dies, if you reposition near the river, Big Muta can't attack you, so you're able to switch into full range melee tank gear to finish off Baby Muta. The main tanks the Big Muta by the lake, while the iron attacks from the tree, just the standard strat for larger groups. We both grab new overloads and enhances. And then prep for Olm. Olm is by far the biggest thing that needs explanation because it uses a different strat than solo or larger groups. It's a bit of a hybrid between the two with a heavy emphasis on solo strats like 3-0 mage and 4-1 melee. The primary method throughout the first 3 phases is a melee 2-0 cycle in conjunction with a special mage 2-0 cycle that we've developed through the years. It looks something like this. So let's break down the idea cycle and then go into deviations from that primary cycle. The melee is just 2-0. You know it, you love it. Hit twice, run to the left side of the head, and immediately back. It's the same timing as 3-1 or 4-1 if you're not familiar with 2-0. If you get out of cycle, just attack 1 tick after Olm attacks you, and you'll be in cycle again. Mage 2-0 is something new. It requires a 4-tick magic weapon like a trident or sang to sync up with the melee's 2-0 cycle. You attack on the left side like you would in a normal 3-0 mage cycle, but your second attack is on this tile, and this tile is important to be able to deal with the deviations from the cycle. It keeps you centralized so you can properly react to the head turning center, but more on how to deal with that later. After attacking on that tile, run back to the left side of the head again, and repeat. So compared to melee, which is attack twice and then move, this is attack, move, okay? The mage hand will die first, and then you both finish off melee hand like a typical group scenario. One of you can even 2-0 melee if you want, while the other tanks the damage. So, what happens when the melee hand inevitably cripples during Phase 1 and Phase 2? Well, the meleeer switches to mage gear, and if also using a 4-tick magic weapon, they both transition to a 3-0 solo mage cycle and move in sync. Do this cycle 3 times, and then swap back into melee when the hand uncripples. One benefit of doing a 2+1 scale instead of a standard duo is the melee hand is less likely to cripple because of the extra body scaling the raid, which means you can stay in your 2-0 cycles longer on average and deal more overall damage to the melee hand while the mage hand is still alive. The majority of the damage you take in Phase 1 and Phase 2 is after the mage hand dies, so the more damage you can deal to the melee hand while the mage hand is still up, the better. If your magic weapon is a shadow, you can still sync up with the mage's 3-0 cycle. You just need to do a 2-0 cycle by attacking on the pinky side, and 5 ticks later after running to the left side of the head. This will lose you 2 ticks per cycle, or if it's on the good side of Olm, and if you're a shadow user you know which one this is, you can do the shadow's 8-0 method. They sync up perfectly. If you start the cycle on 1, it will end on the pinky attack. If you start with the pinky attack, it will end with the long range attack. While learning dual Olm, I'd recommend just doing the 2-0 cycle until you're more comfortable getting in and out of mage gear with the strat. Alright, so how do we start Olm? For melee to get in the cycle from the start of the phase, attack from thumb while major starts on the extreme left side. Toss a warhammer and run quickly to the left of the head. This will turn Olm's head to the left. Toss your second warhammer if available on the next cycle and continue with your 2-0 cycle. If not, just go into your 2-0 cycle until your warhammer becomes available and then send it whenever you get it. Phase 2 and Phase 3 are exactly the same as Phase 1, except when you're on the left side of Olm's head, you need to wait an extra tick. That's just a feature of Olm. The major starts on the extreme left edge of the room. Shoot the mage hand twice and then run right. To use the major's spec for warhammers, pay attention to the mage hand hits. When you hit 2 times in a row while on the way to the left side, switch to the warhammer and any additional melee accuracy boosting gear you feel comfortable swapping to, and hit the melee on the return trip alongside the meleeer. Then immediately run to the left side, switching back into mage gear, and begin attacking the mage hand again. Ideally, use a shadow here. The 5-tick attack will automatically put you in cycle and have a higher chance to hit the mage hand, turning the head to the left again, keeping the cycle going. If you end up splashing here, the head will turn middle, which leads us into the next section, which is deviations from the standard 2-0 cycles. Starting with the head turning center, because Mage Splashes. The Major needs to tank an auto attack in this situation. So just put up an overhead prayer and aim to move to the pinky like you would a mage 3-0 and then resume your cycle. This auto attack unfortunately opens you up to the possibility you will be hit with falling crystals, acid, burn, or one of the main specials, that being spikes, lightning, teleports, and if it's phase 3, the heal, depending where you are in Olm's cycle. Most of these are dealt with passively because you're constantly moving anyway. Avoid spikes, lightning, bombs, etc. You should know how to deal with these. The melee reacts to the head turning center by running to the pinky just like you would in a 4-1 cycle. Pause a tick after attacking, and then run to the left of the head and resume your 2-0 cycle. I would recommend that while running to the pinky to get in the habit of clicking one tile away from the hand and then attack it. If the spike special happens, it'll put spikes behind you, and while it wouldn't be a problem to have spikes next to the hand, when you would step back to avoid them, you run the risk of spreading possible burn the major might have received from that auto attack. The special that causes the most grief for both people is the teleport. You'll both run to the left side of the head and the Major should move up to the front row. Since the Major needs to attack on that side to keep the cycle going, the meleeer needs to delay a tick to sync up with the Major. If you don't feel comfortable syncing up at first, just run to the tile directly between the left side and the melee hand so the Major can run over you. The Major will be able to return to their cycle without issue. The meleeer unfortunately loses a tick executing this maneuver, so just hit the hand once and then reset your timing on the next cycle. The last special to deal with is the heal in Phase 3. Typically the melee hand is keeping up with the mage hand, so you don't necessarily want to switch to mage gear and help the Major, because then the mage hand will get too far ahead. Though if you notice mage is far behind, then go ahead. What I usually do is walk one full 3-0 cycle with the Major, and on the next return trip the heal has expired so I can resume meleeing. Last thing to cover about the cycles is when the meleeer fails to turn the head to the right. The head will again face center, however, both meleeer and Major can simply run to the pinky and then immediately to the left of the head to resume the cycle. If you're familiar with 4-0, it's that timing. Head phase. You can certainly just pick a side and shoot away, or solo run the head phase together. We opted for a different strat, which would feed me a bit more personal points, aiming to get more purples in my name because I'm an iron. Sometime during Phase 3, I drop my excess pots on the door side of the head for my partner to use during head phase. I stand on the extreme side near the exit while he stands in the center. The head will always face center so long as he doesn't cross the central line or the extreme door side line. There's a lot of damage, it's very intense, occasionally too much damage, in which case the ult will bring in a bunch of pots to drop on the ground. And I think that's everything. I sincerely hope you give 2+1 or even duo a try using some of these strats. Once you and your partner synergize and learn duo Olm, it's very satisfying being in sync like that. Anyone who's done in sync 4-1 melee or 3-0 mage can attest to that. It feels really good once you get it down. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. After this, I will show the last run that we did. This is challenge mode number 2000. Hopefully there aren't too many mistakes. I'm recording this before I actually do that run, but we'll see how it goes. There might be drinking involved. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the video. See you. There. Happy. Pot.
Now it's official. Now it's officially the last one.
It's officially the last one.
What? Was that on 0?
Yep.
Mine was off then. Interesting.
One.
Ooh. 2 plus handle. Come on, the Vanguard. Close. Imagine starting no anvil for the 1000.
What or how many did we actually end up getting? Like 2? I know one for sure.
3. 3, 4 at most. Like
3?
Over.
Okay.
3 is already exaggerating, probably. Why are you attacking my friend? That's disrespectful. Nice. Every time I get planks on the first drop, it's probably a guaranteed purple. My sources trust me, bro. I mean, going down with a purple
Would be
I
nice.
can live with that.
Ancestral bottom, so I get all 3.
Oh, but then it's not a T-bow.
Yeah, it's still like 80 mil each or something like that, right?
Yeah, but it's not a T-bow. It's not that I'm greedy, but I like the color of money. Have you seen Brazilian money?
No. Well, I don't know, maybe.
I'm gonna find the picture. It's kind of colorful.
Yeah, it doesn't look familiar.
Fun fact, the last bill, the 200 bill, was discontinued. Like, it had a short print. And it's no longer used.
Interesting.
I mean, no longer printed. You can see.
Yeah, our biggest in circulation's 100 as well.
Yeah, that bill has some
History.
catchy history. Yeah, because when you make a new tier of dollar bill, you have to print it. And also,
Okay, I'm
was
done.
it just an excuse to print money? We will never know. But yeah, it's colorful. It doesn't have people in it.
Well, there's the 100 looks like it's just got fish.
It's kind of fishy, yes.
Yeah. Well, none of them have people. Or you just meant your bills in general don't have people on them.
Yeah, we don't have people.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, it's kind of illegal to own people here. I don't know about America.
Not for 200 years? 150 years? Okay, I'm not going to send a second then.
Yeah. Must have been nothing from Scavs also.
Yeah, nothing.
Nice. That's a great way to start the last one.
It's a great way to end it, you mean?
No, what? No, start it. Look, we're starting the raid. We're starting the last raid.
I just wish I wasn't sick today, that's all. Oh, well.
I mean, you knew you would record here, so your body was like, I cannot be sick tomorrow.
Oh, insta jump.
You probably burned like 3 times the calories needed to heal from whatever you had just to get it done faster. Come on, Mr. Shaman, please behave. Okay, gotta jump. Are you gonna get the cape now or later?
I'll get it now. I want to use the cape for the mass. And I'm sure there'll be some in the clan that are going to be like, what? What about the mass? I thought that was going to be the 2K. Well, if you read the event that I created, the event says something along the lines of in celebration for, never made claim that that was going to be the 2000th one. But.
You're not gonna tell them like you're concerned it's gonna wipe at Vespula.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, in all honesty, it's more, 16, 1700 raids has been duo with you. It didn't feel right to just do a mass client with that. It felt this
Oh,
feels right doing the last raid as the duo.
oh, you stop it. You're gonna make me blush.
So to hell with them. The last one should be a duo.
Scale duel.
Yes,
So
scale
you
duo.
can, so you can show God you fear no gods.
Because this was 1100-ish raids. What's your alt KC right now? But barring some
Also the means though.
1150, yeah. And so there was a few 3+1s in there, but most of them were 2+1s.
Some trios too. But yeah,
That's what I
mostly.
mean, 3+1s.
I should probably start solo. I don't know. I also need to do TOAs.
I'd recommend getting your CAs done for times.
You know damn well I don't care about time saves.
Yeah, but then they're done and out of the way. You're future-proofing your master tier.
I already did that. My master is pretty.
I don't know. I'm probably gonna get like 60 next week with DT2 stuff.
Hey, if that's how they make me go to the bosses, fine. I need to get the Ice Scepter.
Shoot.
Such a shame, the Ice Scepter, man. They took the right idea, they put the wrong number.
Nah.
It could have
Coming
been
down.
Mage East, Melee North, Melee Spawn East. It's like 10% is like Shadow has shown us when it comes to accuracy, like Shadow and Scepter, you need to double or triple it. 10% does not work to do anything like besides being slightly better. Oh, I'm not gonna melee this guy then. Oh shit, what happened?
Did you think that was the ranger or what?
No, I just wanted to kill it melee.
Oh.
How weird. Did you not know that?
What is this? 2020 when you melee the melee boss?
Man, those were simpler times. Back then when Jagus wasn't considering EOC into combat styles. Simpler times. Did I mention that what Goblin was, I don't know what was something that ended up in this topic, like no, it wasn't me for the record, right? It wasn't me just giving him shit. Someone in the subreddit giving Goblin shit that what they want to do is just flat out EOC. And Goblin got really mad. Probably like too much, they spent too much time on that place. Which you shouldn't do. And again, the whoever that guy was stupid because you shouldn't be like a dick about it. Because if you just say it does borrow elements from EOC, and if that's what you want, it's your choice.
Yeah, there's a difference between copying EOC and borrowing elements from it. Like, we're not getting the abilities, right? We're not getting Surge. Was that part of EOC as well, right? Or was that later?
Good question. Good question. I do not know. I mean,
Just like we got Nex, sort of. We got Core, sort of.
Listen, the part back then, it was fine, but Next should never have been added, especially the way they added.
But nostalgia
It's like copy
goggles.
paste. Yeah, a shame. It was so fun. Yeah, it was because you had 30 extra brews waiting when you were killing this boss. I'm not getting high.
Probably dead? No,
Dead.
there we go.
Oh, I got it. Okay. It's very hard to keep tabs on the hits because
The travel time's so long.
yeah,
And
you
also,
have to keep that like.
it also doesn't update when other people hit.
Yeah. I don't like that.
That's the big thing.
Well,
It's just until you hit it, the HP doesn't update it.
But that's like in every boss health bar, not just yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So to give them credit, it's not specific to this place, but yes, it should be changed.
Yes, sir.
How many P words am I allowed in this raid?
0.
Oh.
You had your chance last raid to get them all out.
Oh, that's not fair. I'm gonna report it to my dad. My dad works at Jagex.
My dad is Jagex, so...
Oh no, shit.
Got him.
You win this time.
It's just really weird because my brain is thinking ahead. Okay, well, next raid I'll get this email done, that work done, that sort of thing. And
There is no next.
There is no next raid. It is nice to have non-RNG based goals, though. Some of them, anyway.
I prefer the old school non-RNG goals, like do this content 2,000 times instead of hey, do this thing we didn't build around it, but I don't know, we're gonna guess, and then you get a thing. Like in UTOA.
Missed.
If you don't take more damage, I much prefer starting with T-Bone with ZCB here. $56. $26. Boo.
Boo.
We're just getting blood-free procs here, right? Just
What
recharge
blood-free?
jumps UCB from it. Oh, you don't bring it here?
No, I only bring it to home.
I bring it.
Dead.
I'll sit down there because I heal like 15 HP there.
I just grab the brew and heal up here, not a big deal.
That's the vegan way. You should only heal up with the blood of your enemies.
Or with your own
Honestly,
blood
fun.
via Soul Reaper Axe, you mean? Do you have a ZCB?
I am almost ready.
Okay.
By the time it gets in position, it should be ready.
Sure.
I have it.
Okay. 1-0.
Nice. Since we double tapped it, probably not gonna try lure purple. Like if it lures itself, nice. If it doesn't, I should probably try to get a melee at least. Alright, good.
I'm just gonna shoot it.
And we're at Mystics already.
Yep.
Ah. It's crazy, like when it's this mechanical, you just don't even notice anymore.
Well, again, that's 1600 raids. You just kind of brain off and you wake up when there's a loot chest.
It's like a time machine. Oh, that's on me. I'm not gonna say the magic word either this way.
Please.
You're definitely gonna use the magic tile, so it's not fair. What is smooth Muttadile so far?
Mm-hmm.
I know I just jinxed myself to just get destroyed. Ah, it's not fun the other way. It was very fast to it anyway. I couldn't even get a ZCBs back in. It's a really solid time.
Yeah, despite the slow Vasa.
Imagine if PB with PB here.
All comes down to Warhammers, as per usual.
Freak mechanic.
One. Oh, and then with Scarius being released today, it kind of dates it as well. That's funny.
Huh?
All of the chat pops ups of Scarius' spine.
Oh, they use that to make the weapon, right?
Yeah, I think you take it and make it into one of the three. And then you can, that's also the XP lamp thing that you turn in.
Why are we normalizing getting experience from bosses? I thought we agreed that long bones and dark relics were a
Yeah,
bad
but it's
idea.
only combat experience. Compared to, oops, I forgot to click the thing. Compared to raids, which is anything. Two.
I mean, although in the case of chambers, it's not a viable training method where this is supposed to be a viable training method.
For melees, yeah.
Oh, does it only give melee? Yeah, it should give all styles, no?
It gives a reduced amount for prayer, I think.
Prayer. Only prayer.
So all my dupes will be used for prayer, pretty much.
I wonder if it's not one in meta for early iron. I hit one.
Nah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Dead.
Did you get the 2 Warhammers?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's not good. Careful. I thought you were gonna be you're gonna try getting the hit in there.
Man. No reason to risk it.
I mean, this is the one time you get caught on camera, so might as well. Ah, you! I'm not gonna say it. Can I get one pure? Come on, just one, just
No.
one. You just made me think of another P word.
Please. 2.
Nice. As long as one is behaving finally, like he has admitted defeat. Like just get it done. You're
Just
like,
get it over with. I'm done.
You hit one, so.
Yes. Bro, crippling.
Oh! I think I'm getting a little bit funky on the last round. I don't like acid phase at all.
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
It's the only phase on which like you doing your run you can take damage because you need to eat the acid if it's placed there. It's so annoying.
One.
Double splash. Missed the Warhammer. Oh, do we both hit the melee hits there?
Yeah.
Lucky for you, I have another. There we go.
Hey.
I like this. I'm not getting a free full heal here.
on. I yielded.
Should be fine.
Dead.
Not fun crystals.
Yeah. It's alright.
And it's done.
And we're done. No purple though. Alright.
And a full minute of PB. Shame. Type it out, get the cape, show the people what is done, how it's
Don't need
done.
to type it out, it's in the chat. But let's go get the cape. Claim
I
cape.
mean, it's in the chat. Oh, I see.
The KCs.
Yeah.
What is champion? Champion.
Yeah. Hang on, I can do this.
You want to take a picture? Or you have yours?
Alt has one in the bank, but whatever. This is kind of stupid, but whatever, let's roll with it.
Yeah, that's actually not bad. It's done.
I'm using a scythe. All you get for that is like 2x the slabs on the X. Did you have fun wearing 1,000 KC for that, my guy?
That's good to be done.